Hey, what's up everyone? Today we're gonna do another quick Gintama video. Well, I had on my to-do list to reply to a guy's comment, and then I found on my to-do list a bunch of I don't know, like discussion ideas about Gintama. They're not really well fleshed out, but I just want to get this to-do list over with, so I'll just mention some things here. Anyway. So first of all, there's this whole sky heavens theme, like the 10 character in Japanese, and essentially, there's this whole theme of the sky throughout Gintama. You have like Tsukuyo, and then like the moon, and then Hinoa, the sun, Seita, clear sky, whatever. That's an easy one. Amanto, the invading aliens are literally Amanto, the kanji used. It means sky people. You have the whole like Naraku is the crows who like fly in the sky, whatever, and then it's the whole thing of like you will never reach the heavens and so on, and heaven is the same character as 10. So, I'm not going to connect all the dots or whatever, but basically this is just like a little pointer for anyone who, on a reread or rewatch wants to like pay attention to the whole theme of the sky, I guess. And then you have like sky and earth, you have the whole like war with like between the mythologically named like spaceships and whatever. Anyway, enough about that. So that's topic one. Topic two is oh, I was wondering if they foreshadowed Nobume having a reaction to like see like when she first saw Gin. I wonder if she already realized that he was like a pupil of Shoyo. I assume she must have known, like she must have heard from Shoyo. So I'm wondering if they foreshadowed like her knowing by like her having a reaction to him. I think they must have had a moment like that, right? Like, oh, so you are dot dot dot. I'm not actually sure, but regardless, not a huge deal. I'm just curious if Sorachi pulled another genius Sorachi moment. Anyway, oh, this might sound really stupid, but I also wrote down, so point number three. In the end, all the three wings wanted Shoyo to fly. But yeah, they are called the three wings of the Naraku, and like Naraku, is like hell or whatever, right? Underworld, representing Utsuro essentially. And so if you think about it, Oboro was supporting Shoyo. He even sacrificed his life for Shoyo. And then the last one, what's his name again? The one that means coffin, the kind of broad, thick dude. He actually was also trying to just let Utsuro die as well. And so, of course, how am I forgetting her name? The one that Lucy's voice actor and Haruhi's voice actor voices. Literally, I mentioned, okay, yeah, Nobume. So, yeah, Nobume also, of course, um, decided to, I think, fight as one of Shoyo's disciples as well, right? At one point, like she considered herself that. So, I mean, basically, yeah, it sounds pretty stupid, but in the end, all the three wings of Naraku, they're named the three wings because they're literally there to support Naraku, but also in the end, Shoyo. So I found that kind of nice. Um, so yeah, you can tell, point four, I guess, you can tell from a lot of mangaka and the themes they write. And the stories they write that like you can tell some things about their situations. For example, if you notice, and I don't always like digging this deep because it's might be a little disrespectful, but for example, in Black Clover, so many characters don't have fathers. And we even have like Jack's backstory there. We have Zora's backstory, where he loses his father and so on. And so yeah, and Tabata himself, unfortunately grew up after his father passed away, I believe. And then also Horikoshi, you see every single backstory. I've like criticized him for this, but that's not the point here. But anyway, like every single backstory, like meaningful backstory, is the same one. It's like the dad is abusive, the mom is complete like complicit, and then the child gets bullied and whatever. So yeah, you can, and I'm pretty sure in a volume like comment whatever, like Horikoshi mentioned his family situation at some point. So anyway, so that's just examples. But so Sorachi, like I noticed there's a lot of like older brother stories, like Hiji and like the younger brother feeling guilty about the older brother or the other brother. Like you have Kamotaro and Ito, in the Shinsengumi Crisis arc. You have Hijikata and his older brother. So really, I'm wondering if Sorachi, he's mentioned his sister, but I wonder if he ever had like an older brother that he feels guilty about or neglected compared to. So that's point four. Point five is, and that's something we'll probably never figure out. I've read like a bunch of interviews that were never translated even, and like haven't heard about that. So maybe it could be just the theme he feels strongly about or something. Anyway, Let me see, what does it say? Why put Oboro and Kanko in the same arc? Ah, okay, this point. I'm actually pretty proud of myself for this one too, because yeah, in the Rakuyo arc, you see like so you always like think about which characters do you put together in an arc to make them kind of resonate and like share themes and parallels together. For example, obviously, why would you put, Gintoki and not Takasugi, Gintoki and Hijikata in the Farewell and Shinsengumi arc? Well, obviously, so Gin can help, you know, vicariously save his master again via Kondo, right? And so why put Oboro and Kanko, as in like, Kagura's dad, Umibozu, in the same arc? Well, both of them fought from the side, like from far, they fought like on the side to protect something that was far away. So, for example, Oboro, he sacrificed his life but managed to survive and, like stayed within the Naraku, which was, like hell for him, just so that Shoyo wouldn't be targeted. But yeah, that's what happened there. And but in the end, Oboro, when he saw Shoyu, he couldn't control himself, and he actually sold him out and kind of caused, this disruption, let's say. Now for Kanko, Umibozu, he was never home because he was trying to collect Altana crystals to protect his wife, of course. And, he also ended up having a moment where he lost it against Kamui. So the losing it moment isn't really my point. That's not like a perfect comparison. But I do like how both of them were like, they went far, far away and fought in a faraway place to protect their family, who was also far away. So, there's probably a bit more to it than that, but that's something I noticed. Point 6, we're like almost done, more than halfway done now, but point 6. So Jiraiya raised Tsukuyo so that Tsukuyo could kill him. And we've already seen like, the Tsukuyo Gintoki parallels or whatever, or yeah, it's pretty like apparent because Gintoki literally says like, you don't have the right to be a sensei, right? To Jiraiya. And yeah, basically. But the funnily ironic thing, it's not funny, but the ironic thing is Gintoki Sensei, in a sense, also didn't have the qualifications to call himself a sensei. I don't actually believe that. I'm just saying from a technicality point of view, you can say that. You can say that. And anyway, the parallel continues because Jiraiya raised Tsukuyo to kill him, and Shoyo actually raised Gintoki in a sense to kill himself. When Gintoki raised Shoyo instead, like Shota Shoyo, he said, "It feels like I'm raising a last boss. Is this how it felt for you, Shoyo?" So it's pretty clear as long as you connect the dots, and so that was another great thing that I didn't notice, until my latest read through, and then like another like watching one or two episodes again to like re-experience them, and that's when it came up. So point number 7. So okay, when Nobunobu did like the poop joke, like it's poop, it's unko des or whatever, with like Katsura and fuck, what's his name? The merchant guy who like they wouldn't let him shit. Nobunobu in the alien, what's it called, negotiations in the Silver Soul arc. So yeah, this is a really good example of Sorachi when he's embarrassed at his poeticism. He's mentioned, for example, like in a volume comment that someone was asking, what does Takasugi's poem when he's waking up on Rakuyo actually mean? And then Sorachi was like, Takasugi's a very poemy guy. That's the word he used, poemy. And then he was like, sometimes he speaks in riddles that people don't understand, whatever. It might be cringe to some people, whatever. Anyway, the point is like Sorachi is actually a very kind of poetic what would you call it, like, and I don't know, like literature like style kind of writer. And so but he gets very embarrassed when he actually like delves deep into his like, you know let's say soul to like pull something from very deep outside. You can see this from the very beginning when he's like showing my manga to others, is like showing my naked ass hairs to like the public. And he said later that this he kind of stopped caring now that he's had like 15 years of experience as a mangaka. But I still believe that even then, like the kind of deepest parts of his writing are the ones he always has to like cover with jokes, like embarrassingly crude jokes as much as possible. Yeah, because for example, the Umibozu hair commercial, I've mentioned it before, but you know, the whole like foreshadowing thing of like Umibozu's backstory. So the hair commercial part served to distract from like the foreshadowing, and also how like, you know, it was kind of like a grand scale of a story, like a whole planet, and like the kind of poetic, but some people might find it cringe. Even Sorachi might find it a bit cringe. The whole, you know, like, oh, life can blossom again kind of thing. So whenever like he has something like that where it's like too poetic, let's say, he always like splatters it with jokes around and throughout. And so the Nobunobu poop thing, to get back to it, it was actually um, it was actually like, I can't speak specifically for what it symbolizes at this point because it's been a while, but basically it started with like him actually accepting the commoners, you know, like the peasants and so on, their complaints and, you know, their grudges. And whereas the, you know, red-haired like gunpowder prince, what's his name, Ensho, I think, you know, he had to keep the fires of rage boiling, and that's like you know, paralleled by his own spaceship, and how it's starting to blow up sector by sector, and also the actual name of it, which I believe is like Kagetsuchi Hino something. I forgot, but you can search it up. Anyway, so that aside, my point is like Nobunobu instead, he like ate up the, you know, Kagura's, you know, terribly made, what were they, like croquettes, I think, and then because of that, at the actual like, you know, assembly with the aliens, the alien leaders, he's like painful, he's in pain, and then he's like, really, instead of feeling scared, he feels more about the, you know, it's like, oh, I have diarrhea, like I don't care about this discussion, I care about taking a shit. But it's actually, and I'm being totally serious actually, I know this might sound kind of funny, but he's actually thinking more about kind of the grudges, and the, you know, bemoaning of his subjects and his departed subjects as well. That's kind of what that scene symbolizes. And when he thinks he needs to flee and he can't handle it anymore, the symbolically what's happening is that Zura and no, the merchant, are basically keeping him in reign a bit, essentially as his retainers, you know, retainers to the Lord. And basically, it's my strong belief that every scene in Gintama, or okay, not every, but you know, many important and prominent scenes actually are written by Sorachi. Covered up with a bunch of jokes and so on, such that people don't really think about what could actually be happening under the scenes. But in reality, and I truly believe this, like Sorachi, for example, a lot of people who watch the kind of holding in the shit scene, they're like, oh wow, we're really just gonna, you know, they enjoyed it, but they're like, ah, we're actually just gonna do a shit joke here. Okay, that's Gintama for you guys. Oh my God, Sorachi did another meme moment, but they don't really think about like underneath what is the message that is actually happening, because Sorachi is like very smart. He's quite a genius. And, you know, one thing that he's noticed is that in a story, and I've learned this through Sorachi thanks to him, but in a story, for example, if you have like, you know, Bob punching Jane, right? You could have Bob just punch Jane. And then you could have a story where like, so, and then he defeats her. But you could instead have him like symbolically beat her during a speech. Or you could turn it into a gag moment or a rom-com moment where he trips on like her boobs and then she gets embarrassed. Like at the end of the day, the main progression is that Bob kind of won, like got one up over Jane in this case. So anyway, that was kind of a shittily put together like explanation. But my point is like you can accomplish the same steps through many different ways of telling it, right? Obviously. And so even though for the poop scene, it's like very, very gag oriented, if you think about actually like why, like what everyone's emotions are coming to, even like the two people like shitting together thing, you know, like him shitting together with the something Jaku, like the, anyway, you know, the small forehead dick guy, like when they were like shitting together basically. It's it actually, you know, means a bit and quite a bit. And you know, I read like some other, let's say like political, geopolitical kind of like discussions, negotiations, you know, not a ton, maybe just a couple, but in fiction and some nonfiction. And really the one in that shit negotiation in Gintama is quite, I'd say comparatively even quite nuanced, and like has a couple of angles and steps to it, and is on par with like the other ones I've read, even though it's like about holding in your shit. So yeah, that was the last thing I wanted to say. So those are 7 points. I can finally delete my to-do list here, which feels good. um yeah, so I think that's about it for now. Thank you for watching. I had to talk kind of quietly, so hopefully you guys still heard. properly, but so that said, subscribe. I'm probably not gonna make a Gintama video. I wasn't planning on making this one actually, but yeah, I probably won't make a Gintama video for quite a while. So yeah, but I tend to read a bunch of Shonen Jump on this channel and analyze stuff. I think I'm honestly the only guy like on this platform that like understands some things. I don't understand everything, but a bunch of people on this platform are retarded. So that's just the thing I always say. Also, Shueisha Kurai, I mean Kuso Kurai, I forgot the Kuso. And then what else is there? Yeah, I might make some more videos about like individual manga I read lately. Like I dropped Vagabond lately. It got kind of repetitive to be honest. And then there's like a bunch of other manga I'm reading. I'm like clearing out my backlog, like almost done actually, which is crazy to think about. Um, yeah, so that's about it. Thank you so much for watching. And I'm glad that we got to share this Gintama journey together. All right, leave a comment below what anime and manga you're looking forward to in, I guess, the summer season and then October. I guess a bunch of big releases. Which ones are you looking forward to most? And that's about it. Peace out.